How is smoking affecting teenagers nowadays? As you might know, smoking has a lot of influence and impacts on teenagers nowadays. Hi, we are Lucas, Jared, Brian, and Tim, and today we're going to discuss how smoking has been affecting teenagers in Taichung recently. Nowadays, smoking is getting more and more common among teenagers, and what's the reason behind this practice that only seems to cause physical health issues? Well, today we're going to look into why a lot of senior high school students have started smoking, their initial motive, and etc. We're also going to talk about some ways to quit smoking. Our motivation and purpose behind this project is that senior high school student smoking has gotten a lot more common in recent years among the society. Despite school regulations and propagandas, it is practically impossible to ban this practice. So we would like to discuss this topic as a way to lower the use of e-cigarettes and vapes, and as well as suggesting some ways to replace this harmful habit. So as senior high school students ourselves, it makes it really easy for us to encounter friends, classmates, and even families around us that has the habit of smoking. Now Lucas will talk more about our topic.
And before we get into our main topic, I want to talk about our research process and stages. What we did first was look through the news and reports online about how smoking is affecting teenagers online, and as well as some theses done by others. Then based on the information we had gathered, we did figure out our main direction and made the Google form. And we tried spreading it as much as possible. We tried posting it on social media and emailing it. And eventually we got 170 responses, and after that we analyzed the responses carefully. And then after that, lastly but most importantly, we concluded our research and working on the script you're hearing right now and the slides you're seeing right now. So let's get into our topic. So why is smoking so popular and influential among teens our age? And what's their motive behind smoking? Was the initial question we had. So we made 3 assumptions and worked from there. Our assumptions were 1. If your friends around you use cigarette, you're likely to use it too. And second, smoking is a way to relieve stress for students when encountering issues in life, as a temporary escape from reality, and eventually becomes an addiction. And our third and last assumption is that they might think smoking is cool or something to be bragged about, thus trying and getting into the habit of it. And the purpose of smoking may result in relying on nicotine when facing problems like low grades or relationship breakups, to temporarily numb themselves so that they can escape from reality for a moment. And why will they want to start smoking? We asked in our survey whether or not they know someone around them or friends and family who smoke. And a whopping 78.9% of respondents have someone around them who smoke. That simply shows how common cigarettes are and how they might be easily accessible to teens, senior high school students in particular. Let's move on to Brian.
Further contribute to the next problem, which is why respondents themselves would want to try it. And the response we got include getting into circle of friends that has smoking habits, to escaping reality, losing weight, and reduce stress. And that concept to escaping reality and losing weight are quite similar. Both of them make you feel numb of your real life issue. And in the senior high era, possibly relationship and low grades. Furthermore, the survey result shows that it makes an individual 100% more stable mentally, and it shows that the addiction of cigarette at the young age might be because of relying on them as a method to feel more comfortable and relaxed. Now that we know the reasons, it's time to think further about the consequence of the practice. The initial motive for over 60% people is to be relaxed and feel numb of real life issue. Always seeking for the method to blind yourself from the truth will only make the problem worse. Eventually, not only you are heavily relying on and physically addicted to nicotine, but also the problems solved, but also you are heavily relying on not actually getting the problem solved, but not to look at it. 50% of the people answered for our survey that the effect smoking gives is beyond their expectations. Smoking to get them feel more comfortable and relaxed.
Now let's talk about the flaws. One of the main reasons for smoking is to relieve the stress. When they encounter frustration, they will tend to rely on it and eventually lead to addiction. In addition, after smoking, their emotion can vary a lot and likely vent their anger on others. Another thing is to get into circle. It's easier to get ostracized in a community where people commonly smoke but you don't. However, smoking can also cause negative impressions towards the group of people that don't, even if they are aware of its purpose. They may feel disturbed or induce allergic reactions, or even associate it with bad things. Although the use of cigarette is not a good habit, there are a couple solutions to the issue. First is they have things in their mouth, so cigarette can be replaced by chewing gum or toothpicks. Second is to reduce the stress, since exercise can release the same chemicals as smoking, which is called endorphin. Exercise can replace the habit of smoking. Better still, exercise can strengthen muscle and build stronger immune system, which adds extra benefit on top. The previous point mentioned sums up our speech. Thank you for listening.